Thank you for watching this presentation on Earned Incentive Release Credit through the Minnesota Rehabilitation and Reinvestment Act, or MRRA. This presentation will focus on providing an overview of the requirements for Earned Incentive Release, the types of Earned Incentive Release credit, and how to identify the programming that will be required of you if you want to seek Earned Incentive Release. We'll begin with an overview of the requirements for Earned Incentive Release. You must not be serving a life or indeterminate sentence. You must not be subject to good time. You must not be serving a non-Minnesota sentence. You must have had over 1 year to serve upon admission to prison. You must not have any pending criminal cases or open warrants, detainers, or custodial obligations to another jurisdiction. This would include out-of-state warrants and commitments which require you to transition to a secure setting upon release from prison. You must not be very high risk according to the MNSTAR. You must not be assigned a predatory offender level 3 by the End of Confinement Review Committee, or ECRC. You must not already be within 6 months of your current confinement release date. You must have already served or be within 6 months of serving 50% of your executed sentence, and you must complete required recidivism reduction programming, which we will focus on in the remainder of this presentation. We'll now shift and discuss the 3 types of Earned Incentive Release credit. These include rehabilitative programming, structured activities, and notable acts. Rehabilitative programming includes 2 tiers. The first is recidivism reduction programming. Recidivism reduction programs focus on criminogenic needs, which can reduce the likelihood of reoffense in the future. Responsivity programming focuses on needs that can promote stability and overall wellness. As you can see, recidivism reduction program completion can result in Earned Incentive Release credit ranging from 30 to 90 days. Responsivity programming completion can result in Earned Incentive Release credit ranging from 10 to 20 days. We'll now take a closer look at recidivism reduction programming. This slide outlines the current list of approved RRPs and the associated requirements for Earned Incentive Release. Earned Incentive Release is based on programming completed in prison since most recent admission. Completed during past incarcerations or while in county jail, while beneficial, will not result in Earned Incentive Release credit. As you can see, the first RRP is completing a secondary degree. If you were admitted to prison without a verified GED or diploma, you must complete secondary education to be eligible for Earned Incentive Release. This can include earning a high school diploma, a GED, or HiSET. If you complete a secondary degree, you may earn 90 days of release credit. Completing substance use disorder treatment. If you were recommended to complete residential substance use disorder treatment, you must complete treatment to be eligible for Earned Incentive Release. Any substance use disorder treatment completion can result in 90 days of Earned Incentive Release credit. If you were recommended to complete intensive outpatient or extended outpatient treatment, you do not have to complete treatment while in prison to be eligible for Earned Incentive Release if you've addressed other higher need areas through programming. The next RRP is completion of sexual offense treatment. If you are assessed and recommended to complete prison-based sexual offense treatment, you must complete treatment to be eligible for Earned Incentive Release. Completion of sexual offense treatment may result in 90 days of Earned Incentive Release credit. The next RRP is completion of a post-secondary degree, certificate, or license. This could include earning an associate's degree, a bachelor's degree, or completing a licensing program like barbering or cosmetology or computer networking. Completion of a post-secondary degree, certificate, or license may result in 90 days of Earned Incentive Release credit. Completing a cognitive behavioral group intervention. This includes decision points, moving on, thinking for a change, and HEAT. The amount of earned incentive release credit connected to cognitive behavioral group interventions ranges from 30 to 90 days based on the length of the program you complete. The next RRP is completion of the Prison Fellowship Academy. This is the full academy offered through Lionel Lakes and Shakopee. And the final RRP is completion of the MNCOR Employee Program. Both PFA and employee completion may result in 90 days of earned incentive release credit. On the left of the screen, you will see the Recidivism Reduction Program requirement, which is based on risk level. If you came to prison before February of 2026, your RRP requirement will be based on your MNSTAR score at the time of earned incentive release credit review. If you came to prison on or after February 1st, 2026, your RRP requirement will be based on your initial MNSTAR score. If your MNSTAR score increases during incarceration, your RRP requirement will as well. We'll now talk about how to identify the right recidivism reduction programs, or RRPs, for yourself. Your assessment summary report will have a needs chart. To be eligible for earned incentive release, you must address your highest needs on your ASR through recidivism reduction programming. We will show some examples of needs charts that will help you to understand how to identify what your highest needs are and what programming would address them. The first assessment summary report table here shows a person who is low risk according to the MNSTAR. To be eligible for earned incentive release, this person would need to complete one RRP according to their highest need area. This person's highest need is education. Since this person did not have a verified GED or high school diploma when they came to prison, they will need to successfully complete secondary education. Completing secondary education by earning a diploma, GED, or HiSET will allow them to be eligible for earned incentive release, as that will address their highest need area. The second ASR shows a person who is assessed as medium risk according to the MNSTAR. To be eligible for earned incentive release, this individual will need to complete 2 RRPs according to their highest need areas. There are no high need areas identified, so this individual would need to complete 2 programs addressing their highest needs, which happen to be within the medium category. This individual could complete an educational degree, license, or certificate, and could then go on to complete Thinking for a Change, which is a cognitive behavioral intervention which addresses antisocial peers. Those 2 RRPs would then address their highest need areas, and they would therefore have met the RRP requirement. This third example is an individual who's assessed as high risk according to the MNSTAR. To be eligible for earned incentive release, they must complete 3 RRPs. This individual would need to complete secondary education by earning their high school diploma, GED, or HiSET. They would then need to select 2 additional recidivism reduction programs targeting high need areas. For example, they could address antisocial thinking through decision points, which is a cognitive behavioral intervention. They could then address the employment need by completing the MNCOR Employee Program. What happens if someone has a residential SUD recommendation, a prison-based sexual offense treatment recommendation, and doesn't have a secondary credential? That individual would need to complete all 3 of those recidivism reduction programs. You can see that reflected here on the last ASR table. Any individual, regardless of risk level, needs to complete residential substance use treatment, secondary education, or prison-based sexual offense treatment. What if you don't have an ASR? If you have not yet taken the self-reported assessment, you may not have an assessment summary report, but you can still begin planning for potential earned incentive release review. You can start by looking at your initial case review, which will outline programming that was recommended for you and the results of assessments that you took at intake. If you require secondary education, residential substance use treatment, or sexual offense treatment, those will all be considered high needs for you, even if you do not have an ASR which notes that. You would be encouraged to seek out programming that has been recommended to you or that you're interested in. Responsivity programming has to be led by trained individuals and focused on helping develop skills related to identified needs. Examples could include mental health, trauma, parenting, or religious faith and spirituality. Structured activity credit is based on work and programming assignments. At the time of earned incentive release credit review, individuals who are low risk may earn 30 days of earned incentive release credit for every 90 days of structured activities. Individuals who are medium risk may earn 30 days of earned incentive release credit for every 180 days of structured activities. And individuals who are high risk may earn 30 days of earned incentive release credit for every 360 days of structured activities. Again, the structured activity credit is based on your MinStar score at the time of review. This is part of the reason why it's so important to focus on engaging in programming and behavior that can help reduce your risk score over time. The final form of earned incentive release credit is notable acts. Notable act credit can be provided to an individual who acts outside their own interest, potentially placing themselves in harm's way, to reduce the likelihood of injury or death or prevent a significant incident from occurring. A request for notable act credit must come from staff and will be reviewed directly by the Commissioner of Corrections. If you are interested in applying for earned incentive release through MRRA, please carefully review the posted memos and updates regarding phased rollout. If checklists are available in your facility, you may submit a checklist if you meet all criteria and requirements. Again, you must meet all eligibility criteria in order to be reviewed for earned incentive release. If you do not meet all requirements, please do not submit a checklist, as that will delay the review process for you and others. Be mindful that eligibility criteria will expand with each phase, so continue to watch for updates. If you do not meet the current requirements, or you are at a facility that isn't currently offering earned incentive release credit review, you are encouraged to stay focused on positive behavior, reducing your MinStar score, and avoiding misconduct. Demonstrating your commitment to rehabilitation and growth will put you in a good position to be reviewed for earned incentive release if you become eligible in the future. Thank you for watching this recording on MRRA.